Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. This is Gloria Lee, the moderator for the show Women of Courage. Wherever you are in the world, I need you to know one thing right now. You are amazing. I know you might be upset. I know you might be hurting. And I know you might be frustrated. I know because all of these things happened to me. I was homeless for 2 years, and all I had was a computer, my son, and a car. I want you to know you still have a purpose in life, and it is my job to help you believe that again. Do you want to believe? Can you see that the divorce was not meant to take you out? Can you believe that the lost house and the lost job is a setup for something greater? By the end of this broadcast, you'll be injected with so much that you cannot help but believe again. And I am going to help you do just that. Are you ready? I got some things I want to share with you. And I will even make suggestions on books and activities that you can implement, which will ultimately bring healing and wholeness to you. If you are ready to be healed, if you're ready to be whole, just jot down the pointers I give and watch your life transform. No matter what happened, no matter whose fault it was, today is a new day, and your time to live and be free is now. Join me in this journey to wholeness. Your time for total healing is now. Today you shall recover. Wholeness, healness, and peacefulness is in the mind. That is where all battles for life end and begin. The Women of Courage show is brought to you by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries. The Ministries is a reading ministry. We believe the world becomes alive when it is explained through reading. Thus, our presentation to you today. All of our efforts are toward demonstrating that when women work together, they win. Yet women cannot win without knowledge and power. Neither of these abilities can come without reading. Power is the ability to make things happen, to move things, or to bring about a particular event. Knowledge is power and education is power. Without either, a person is ineffective to bring about a particular event. Without violence, power is never given, it is always taken. Our attempt to take power has to be without violence because of our lack of testosterone. Consequently, women must learn how to take power and learn how to manage it without mimicking men. The only way we can accomplish any of this is to gain knowledge through reading. You may think that you are too busy to read, but you need the information that I have accumulated for you. You are an integral part of our effort. We are trying to reach the women who have given up, the adulteress, the whore, the woman who does not believe, the woman who's contemplating suicide, the woman who wakes in the morning hating her husband, the woman who screams at her children, the woman who has lost her home, the woman who has failed at school, or the woman who is bitter over her divorce. I am looking for the betrayed, the adulteress, the whore, and the downtrodden. I am looking for the woman who wants to fight back but does not know how to fight. I want them to know that the battle is not over. Failure is just another way of standing up. I am trying to reach these women because I want to try and save their lives. Now to the video of why you are here. We present the video Notable Black Women. Here is something you need to know. The most prolific readers in the United States are educated black women. That's correct. Educated black women read more books than anyone else in the United States. Please tell your friends and family about our broadcast and invite them to listen to us every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. on 88.1 FM WHPR. You can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com to learn more about our programs and how you can become involved. You can find inspirational articles by the Women of Courage Show by visiting the website touchedbythelight.us. You can read some of our essays on your lunch hour. These articles will help you last throughout the day. They will inspire you not to quit. A person goes to a textbook to learn how to build a house, or how to repair a car, or how to learn how to purchase a computer or buy tires. If the person cannot read or cannot read competently, he or she cannot successfully reach their goal. They will not learn how to purchase a computer or purchase the correct tires. They can ask other people how to do these things, but they are at the mercy of their friends to tell them the truth. We read the Bible to find out what God has to say and to learn how we are supposed to conduct our lives. If we cannot read, or if we cannot read competently, we cannot get the information we need from the Bible to manage our lives properly. A textbook or the Bible will not do us any good if we cannot read or if we cannot read competently. If you cannot read or you cannot read competently, the Bible is of no value to you. Listening to a sermon is not good enough. Going to Bible study and coming to church on Sunday, listening to a sermon, is not enough for you to get the type of information you need to accomplish the task of learning what God wants you to do. If you take notes during Bible study and you take notes during a sermon, you will be further ahead, but you are still dependent on another person interpreting Bible for you. You are depending on the integrity of the pastor to give you the right information. To solve this problem so that you will not be misled, you must learn to read, and you must learn to read competently. Relying upon someone else to give you the correct information to conduct your life is extremely dangerous. You will meet with disastrous results if you continue in this path. Consider this. You rely upon your girlfriend for information, so she suggests to you to go to the bar to meet a man. In a few months, you learn you have AIDS, all because you let your girlfriend tell you how to solve one of life's problems, loneliness. This is why you must pray and ask the Lord for guidance when you select a friend. You should also pray when you select a church leader. If you cannot read or you cannot read well, you are placing your life in the hands of that person guiding your church. Your eternal salvation depends on the honesty of your pastor. And believe me, all pastors are not honest. Many pastors are in church for the money. Now, for example, the word with the most drama in the Bible is the little word sin. Sin is what church is all about. Sin is what man is not supposed to do. Well, the problem with this word is it is not clearly defined in our minds. Sin to us is murder, adultery, fornication. Sin is also something else. Sin is any behavior that blocks the blessing of God. You didn't know that, did you? This is the most important definition of sin. It is any behavior that blocks the blessing of God. Why? Because we all want to be blessed by God, correct. But on the other hand, God will bless anyone. So therefore, if you're not being blessed, you're doing something to prevent this blessing. So your behavior is blocking something. We all want God to bless us, right? We all want God to like us. We want God to be satisfied with our performance on the earth. We want God's blessing so we can live a good life. We want God's blessing so we can live a healthy and wealthy life and prosper on earth. No one wants to be poor, sick, and unhappy while living on earth. As Christians, we know our circumstances can change if we receive the blessing from God. Therefore, we strive to get God to like us so we can get this blessing. If you do not realize after reading your Bible there are specific sins that block the blessing of God, you have not read your Bible competently. Now, if you accept the doctrine of Jesus Christ and the edicts of God, then we know our lives can be filled with blessings. How many of you have read the Bible through at least once? How much of it did you remember? You recall most of what you read if you took notes, and only if you review those notes daily. Your mind must be in the habit of taking in information. Your mind must be flexible. You must be in the habit of taking in information, processing this information, and evaluating this information. Now, when you read the book of Chronicles, what was the greatest lesson you learned? Did you realize God wrestled the kingdom from the various kings because the kings refused to abide by his laws? The kings sinned. They refused to be obedient. God gave the kings over to their enemies when the kings did not do as God told them. Were you impressed by this? Did you see yourself in these situations? Or did you quickly read this section telling yourself you understand what the book of Chronicles was all about? Did you see what you did not do as God told you to do, that God would wrestle your life away from you? Or did you think you could escape God's wrath by asking him to give you forgiveness, then continue doing as you please? Did you learn that disobedience is a sin? Did you realize that gossiping is a sin? That lying and cheating is a sin? Did you learn that God withdrew his protection from his people when people began having sex with women outside of marriage? Did you realize that when man did not repent of his sin, the results of the sin was visited upon the person's children for the generations to come? There are more sins than just adultery and murder. When you read the Bible, do you see the association of what is said in the Bible to the way that you are conducting your life? God said for you to teach your children of him. Do you do this? Or is your son in prison because you were too busy working overtime to pay proper attention to what he was doing with his free time? How much overtime did you work to purchase your motorcycle or to pay for your girlfriend's new car, working against the security of your children? How often did you stick your son in front of the television instead of giving him a book to read? How many times did you use the television as a babysitter so you could get your groove on? How often did you read to your son? How many books have you seen your son read? How many books are in your home? Did you repeatedly tell your son through example and through words that learning to read was his way out of poverty? That using a gun was not his way out of poverty? And did you tell him he did not have to learn how to play baseball or basketball or football to get out of poverty? Learning to read will get you out of poverty. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break.
The Women of Courage show broadcasts on WHPR Channel 88.1 FM every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Please remember, if you're not in your car or near a radio when we broadcast, we can be seen and heard on your computer if you go to TV33WHPR.com. Again, TV33WHPR.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the link WHPR 88.1 FM and listen to the show. We can also be heard on your phone if you download the app WHPR TV Detroit Live. Or you can listen to us on Roku at WHPR TV Detroit Live 88.1 FM. If you miss any of our broadcasts, you can visit our archive and listen to that broadcast on our YouTube channel, Touched by the Light Publishing. If you want to discuss any of the topics of my shows, you can email womenofcourage@murderedvoices@gmail.com. Thank you. And don't forget to visit our website at touchedbythelight.us for a book to read.
Hi there. Are you finding it difficult to overcome the challenges of life? Have you asked yourself why certain unknown operations around your life cause you to fail, for you to hurt yourself and others? Do you know that we fight unknown spiritual and physical battles daily, and you may be fighting the wrong enemy without knowing it? Are you ready to reach the extraordinary and discover who your real enemy is? If your answer is yes, then you are on your path to victory. Know Your Enemy is a book written by Gloria Lee, a great communicator who offers the best effective solutions to differentiate your enemy from a third voice. This book will show you how to take stock of your life and who is in charge of your life. It will help you draw from your greatest disappointments the wisdom and strength you need to channel your thoughts to be a better person. Know Your Enemy was written to help children of life-building skills and productive thinking, help mothers to train their children, and to give exceptional insight to adults on how to respond to situations in a healthy manner without having emotional judgments on themselves. If you desire to change and fulfill your life's focus and purpose, then you need to read the book Know Your Enemy that will educate and develop you. The book can be found at the website touchedbythelight.us. You can read a copy of the first chapter.
For just $13.95, we'll give you a book that will save your life. Not your life alone, but for the entire woman you interact with. Life-Saving Advice is a book by a woman who has seen it all. The 248-page black and white print gives you massive insight to identify potential danger around you. It outlines the characteristics of harmful people likely to put your life at risk. Isn't it life-saving? Hurry now. Go to https://touchedbythelight.us/regular publications instantly and obtain your copy. Making an excuse is easy. The consequences are fussy. In fact, we always find ourselves failing to achieve our goals because we succeed in making excuses. The good news is, the author of What You Must Do to Win has yet another book for you. The Cure You Need for a Change. What You Need to Win. The book title speaks it all. Reading its 276 pages is worth it. Be a courage woman to read and inspire others. Go to https://touchedbythelight.us/regular-publications and get your copy now for only $14.95. Life is at its best when you get to the mountaintop. Nevertheless, at times we lose our way and land in the valley. Adversity comes and shakes us in fear. What do you do at such a time? Where do you get your strength when it's gone? Be Not Defeated in Hard Times is the book you need to overcome such fears and gain back your strength. It's cheap, $10.95 only. To purchase this book, log into https://touchedbythelight.us/regular-publications before it's out of stock. Are you a woman seeking solace? Or are you a woman in need of the comfort of prayers? Or are you one distressed and disturbed? It doesn't matter your niche. The Prayer Jar is a book just for you. It deserves your study table. The author, a fellow woman, writes this book inspirationally to address your prayer needs in every situation. The book does not only bring you closer to God, but it also leads you to a mature prayerful life. The printing is in black and white. Don't wait. Go to https://touchedbythelight.us/regular-publications to get your copy instantly for $14.95 only. The Prayer Jar, a Christian book for your prayer life.
Anything that you want in this life can be obtained. You just need to believe. Believe in yourself. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are resilient. You are what we call the women of courage. And your time is now. There are no victims in this life. So I'm asking you, are you ready to make a change? Are you ready to fight for what you want? Are you ready to fight for your dreams? If you are, it starts now. This is the Women of Courage.
The Women and Children's Restoration Ministry is a reading ministry founded on the principle that if one reads, one can manage his or her life successfully. The benefit of reading is enlightenment. Reading brings about self-awareness, and reading teaches one to problem solve, even if the problem is managing one's emotions. We advocate that people read all of their lives. We believe reading opens the door to possibilities and shows a person how to tap into his or her imagination as others have done before them. Reading is also a way out of poverty and ignorance. Poor children are overwhelmed at birth, especially black male children. Since the dissolution of the black family, 85% of black children are raised by women who are poorly trained and ill-suited to be parents. You are ill-suited to be a parent if you refuse to take time to read to your child or read for yourself. You are ill-suited to be a parent when you stick your child in front of a television or video game so he or she will be out of your hair. You are ill-suited to be a parent when you continue to bring non-related males into your home straight from the bar just because the man winked at you. You are ill-suited to be a parent if you teach your daughter that all she has to do in life is to put her buttocks and breasts out to attract a man. And you are surely ill-suited to be a parent when all you think about is walking around, allowing your derriere to flop in the wind, thinking your buttocks is going to attract some man. Our children are surrounded by people living by tradition instead of living by creativity and hope. Black children are not supported at home to read. Black children are not being taught to value reading. There are black homes where there is not one book in the house. The children do not even receive a book for a present. Black children are not being given a chance to stand up and bat because they are being defeated in the crib. Black Americans are not advancing because they do not read. If you can't read, wear it, or drink it, many blacks are not interested. How many bookstores are in your neighborhood? How many books have you read this year? How many conversations do you have with people about a book that you read? There is a saying that has been repeated throughout generations. If you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. This saying is disgusting. Lack of knowledge is why black people get duped in business, why black women lack self-esteem, and easily participate in sexual sin. Many black people cannot read an insurance policy or a purchase agreement. Our young men cannot receive training because they cannot read. They cannot take an exam for a driver's license because they cannot read. And what do? Nothing. Oh, we talk. Talk is easy. It makes one look intelligent. The telling point is there is no action behind the talking. The lack of self-knowledge is why we sell our bodies, why we think having a big butt makes us attractive. And once we get a clipboard and an ink pen, we think we're better than the next black woman. Reading will stop you from acting a fool on your job. Reading will make you think twice before screwing your best girlfriend's husband. Reading will not only teach you about jealousy, envy, and greed, it will teach you the consequences of these emotions. It is incumbent on us all to do something about this problem, lest we face one of these uneducated men breaking into our homes, because surely violence is associated with the lack of education. Once a child is born, every decision made by the mother affects that child, including the toothpaste that you purchase at the store. I want you to consider reading. Stand up and let God see you working to change. Hi, I decided that at the end of every show for the next year, I would share excerpts from a book that I believe would enhance your life and make you a stronger thinker and problem solver. All characteristics that will help you win at life and raise stronger and healthy children. Many of you turn your nose up at reading, or you snub the advice that you must read in life to succeed, or you compare the cost of a book to getting a new pair of shoes or getting your hair done or your nails done. The reason why you make these cost comparisons is because you do not truly value a book. A book is a magnificent instrument that can change the course of your life and the lives of your children. In later shows, I plan to discuss with you how a book changed the lives of certain people. I understand that you do not earn a lot of money, and this money is valuable to you because of all the things you see advertised that you desire, and you do not want to spend a lot of money on a book. A new pair of shoes is more valuable to you than a book. If you truly cannot afford a book, then you need to go to the library and take your children with you for a day of reading. You must gird your loins and proceed at educating yourself. Some of you seem to think that having a conversation with your stupid girlfriend or your stupid boyfriend will help you more than reading a book, when actually having a conversation with your loudmouth girlfriend or loudmouth boyfriend is merely a cathartic, allowing you to blow off steam and proclaim how life has been so unfair to you. What you do not realize is that the advice coming from Your do-nothing girlfriend or your do-nothing boyfriend is advice coming from a fool. Your do-nothing girlfriend is a sexual opportunist looking for a man she can impress with her body. When her vagina fails her, what will your girlfriend do but go to work at McDonald's or Wendy's at the age of 60 and continue to spread her ignorance at church? Her daughter will be on the street and her son in prison. She will never realize that her life is the result of the decision she made not to educate herself through reading. All her life she felt that she had something better to do than reading. She had something better to do than reading with her children. She had something better to do than working with her children. And that was going to the bar, trying to entertain a man or trying to find some man that would buy her a pair of shoes. A man spending money on her was more important than educating herself. In later shows, I'm going to spend a great deal of time giving you some examples of fools. These are people who think they are smart, willing to trade their body and integrity for a dollar bill. These people end up in the cemetery after lamenting each and every day of their lives about their unfulfilled dreams. Do not be upset by the use of the word fool. You tell me if a woman is not a fool to instruct her grandson to kill her husband for a $25,000 life insurance. Let that sink in for a moment. Instead of instructing her grandson to make something of his life, the grandmother instructs her grandson to become a murderer, to kill his grandfather. I have this anecdotal advice for you about reading. Listen to this short true story. A friend and I were talking. She said a woman she knew called her and sought to renew their friendship. During their conversation, the woman told my friend that President Trump had done so much for black people, and that's why she voted for him in 2016, and she was going to vote for him again in the upcoming election. My friend asked her a question. She said, "Tell me some of the things that Trump has done for black people." The woman said, "A whole lot." My friend persisted and asked her to name one thing that Trump had done for black people. The woman could not. The woman kept using the phrase, "a whole lot of things." My friend said after a while she stopped talking. Finally, the conversation was over and my friend hung up. My friend said, as she hung up, she made up her mind right then that she would never renew her friendship with this woman. Now ask yourself why. Why would she not renew her friendship with this woman? You can answer this question in 2 words. The woman was a poor thinker. She never investigated anything that was told to her. Whether you know it or not, a person who is a poor thinker, who does not examine his or her thinking, is a very dangerous person indeed. Think about it.
The Women of Courage series was written to help women learn about themselves and to turn women into winners. You do not have to settle for life prophesized by your teachers, the church, your parents, or your friends. You can change the scenarios and play the starring role. In order for women to learn to believe in themselves, to become the person they want to be, it is important for women to know where they came from. History is the standard by which we judge ourselves. If you have a good self-image, you will believe the sky is the limit. You can do anything or become anyone. But if you have a poor self-image, your thinking will be chaotic and you may never reach your goal. For centuries, women have played an important role in the development of society, yet this role has been practically ignored in folklore and in history books. Men have always had the starring role. Men have been the keepers of faith. Men have been the saviors of society. Men have been valiant, steadfast, and true, while women have been relegated to the sidelines where the peace setters were men. Today we shall put the story straight. The everyday slugfest that was carried on by ordinary women for century after century after century has never been told. Today, we present a pictorial representation to give you another view of the fight conducted by women. Pay particular attention to the conditions in which the women worked, and note this was a fight for survival. Modern history is written on the back of women who chose not to conform. Our history books are littered with examples of powerful women like Rosa Parks, Malala Yousafzai, and the Triangle Shirtwaist factory workers. But for every tale of a woman's success and perseverance, there is a harrowing backstory of tribulation and strife. Things are better now, we say. It's not like it used to be. But turn on the news. Turn on the news in your own city. Turn on the international news. Women are suffering from the restrictive society in Saudi Arabia to your own neighborhood. It's better, but ask yourself, is it good enough? Women of Courage tells a tale of women, from the harrowing story of early women to their victorious perseverance. It tells tales that have not been told enough, examples of how women have the strength to put their foot down and map their own future. Read their stories and become better equipped to write your own story by changing your behavior and becoming a woman of courage. Why are only a few women in history books? Why are women left out of leadership positions? Why are 21st century women struggling with the same issues that 20th century women fought against? The series Women of Courage gives answers to these questions. Millions of women all over the world are living in fear, unhappy, and unfulfilled, wishing they could do more with their lives. If you are one of these women, fearful and unhappy, take the bold step and purchase the series Women of Courage. Read and learn how other women met these challenges and succeed in living fulfilling lives. Read the series Women of Courage and learn how you can change your life forever. Women of Courage is an inspirational book that seeks to tell the stories of strong women who have persevered, even when those threatened by a woman's strength have stood in the way. It's a book for all women, a book to help more of us stand up and say, it's about time. It's a book for you. Get your copy from touchedbythelight.us. If you have reached a point where you are stuck, having a sense of tiredness, coming from seeing all of your dreams and visions of success get obscured with the lack of experience, guidance, and knowledge necessary for success, learning from Women of Courage may be the most important thing you've read this year. Living a passionate life in a hectic and busy 21st century is getting increasingly harder. Women of Courage series will provide you with all the inspiration, courage, and role model you need to get inspired and take your life in your hands and start living as bravely, as passionate as you deserve. Most aspiring individuals end up missing a huge amount of opportunities due to the lack of training and tools that would allow you to overcome psychological barriers, limiting beliefs, fears, and lack of creativity that you could potentially face during your journey as a successful woman. This lack of proper guidance manifests itself in lowered performance and productivity and failure to unleash your full potential and show the world what you can truly do. If you lack the attitude and psychology, proper resources, or vision to make your dreams a reality, combined with dissatisfaction with the execution of your plans, but you remain firmly dedicated to making your ambitions a reality, you will certainly derive the most benefit from the incredible Women of Courage series. If you are serious about taking your life to a whole new level and enjoying the privileges of creativity, fearlessness, and success that all the brave women who have changed the world are equipped with, you are in the right place. Don't leave your future to chance. Get a new sense of strength, inspiration, and courage with Women of Courage series. You'll be so glad you did. Guaranteed. Achieve what you're after. We hope this brief synopsis of women trying to become productive members of society by joining the workforce will inspire you to go further with your life. Remember, women and children make up the largest part of the most vulnerable people in society. Even with industrialization, globalization, and the new knowledge economy, women's position in society leaves much to be desired. The vast majority of women are still uneducated. Millions and millions of children are still living in poverty. Society has ensnared women into playing second fiddle. Society has taught women to settle for whatever life has to offer. Society says, stop dreaming, be practical. Happiness is an illusion, but it doesn't have to be that way. One can realize their dreams and be happy. Misty Danielle Copeland did not accept a letter telling her at age 13 she could never be a ballerina. In 2015, Miss Copeland became the first African-American woman to be promoted to principal ballerina in ABT's 75-year history. You can change the scenarios with you playing the starring role. Now is time for a change. Read Women of Courage and get inspired. The series Women of Courage seeks to tell the stories of strong women who have persevered, even when those threatened by a woman's strength have stood in the way. The series is for all women, to help more of us stand up and say, it's about time. Ask yourself this question: what can't women do? If you falter in answering the question, you need to read the series Women of Courage. Get your copy today at https://touchedbythelight.us.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Every now and then we must remind ourselves of those that have gone before us, lest we forget the ground we stand on was built by the lives of other courageous women. We wanted you to see the women that fought unimaginable battles while standing alone. We wanted you to see the paths blazed by women who gave their lives to be themselves. The only reason why women are able to attend university today is because women fought for this right yesterday. The only reason why there are female police officers today is because women fought for this right yesterday. Remember, women were left behind for centuries. Our intellect was dismissed. Women had to fight and fight and fight for recognition. Some women fought their entire lives. They risked it all. Millions and millions of women spent countless nights writing letters, making signs, petitioning the courts, walking picket lines, and being beaten by family members. These women were rebuked by their fathers and husbands and disciplined physically. Some spent nights in jail. Many were spat upon. Yet these women persevered. They did any and everything they could think to do just to be free to express themselves. Now we ask that you purchase the series Women of Courage on our website, touchedbythelight.us. This knowledge will enhance your life. A portion of the purchase price will go towards programs for women and children. We ask that you share this knowledge with your young children and encourage women to purchase the series. It's important that we never forget that women contributed equally to the success of mankind.
Reading is defined as the accumulation of knowledge. Reading is one of the processes by which human beings gather information for conducting their lives, which includes working and recreating. When this process is inhibited for whatever reason, the person cannot conduct his or her life successfully. The person meets with bad results. When a person cannot read or does not read well, or she will live the life of a beggar, a cheat, a liar, or will end up in prison or the grave. They will never receive what God had in store for them. Reading is the most important human activity any man can participate in. When you ignore reading, you will have actually cut yourself off from other people around you. Our prisons are filled with people who do not know how to read. Our graveyards are filled with people who did not know how to read. You are not successful today because you cannot read or refuse to read. You continue to think you can conduct your life on the information you learned in high school. Your life is in ruin because you cannot read or do not read. Many of your children are in prison today because you did not read to them or teach them to read or teach them the importance of reading. Many of your children are dead because you did not read to them or teach them to read or teach them the importance of reading. Reading teaches discipline. Reading will tell you about another man's courage. Reading will tell you how to correct some of the mistakes in your life. Reading will help you solve some of life's problems. Reading will teach you how to find a job. Reading can help you learn a profession or a trade. Reading will help you improve your health. When you do not read, you depend on hitting the numbers to get you ahead in life. You turn to gambling thinking that if you wager enough money in a casino, that will help you survive. When you do not read, you go to the casino and wager your life savings trying to win big at the casino. When you do not read, you depend on prostituting yourself to get money. Try to attract a man with your butt or your breast size just to get money. When you do not read, you will go around the community looking for free food, free clothes, anything free that will help you. When you do not read, you bring men into your home who do not belong there, telling your children to call him daddy. When you do not read or cannot read, you are walking around with no understanding of life. Let me say this again. When you do not read or cannot read, you are walking around without an understanding of life, and you will meet with poor results. You will not pay your bills correctly. You will not purchase the right car. You will not know how to purchase a home. You will not know how to complete your income tax. You will waste money at the bar. You will purchase cheap items to booster your self-esteem. You will live in a poor neighborhood. You will not have a savings account. You will pay money for goods and services. You will pay more money for goods and services. You will be at the mercy of your fellow man. Your children may or may not go to college. Many of your girls will become pregnant and never graduate from high school. You will suffer from many illnesses brought on because of a poor diet or poor eating habits or tradition. You will become more and more adamant and shun change, all because you do not have knowledge, whereas you can obtain this knowledge through reading. Hear me well, you are failing in life because you cannot read, or you refuse to read, or you refuse to learn to read competently. When you shun knowledge, you remain in the darkness. You will never reach the light, and you will never see God. Your salvation depends on your ability to read.
Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet, Black Women and Breast Cancer, into the hands of 1 million people? Please go to the website touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet, Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 family members and friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We're trying to reach 1 million women with this information to save lives. The death of 1 woman to breast cancer from our community is 1 woman too many. We thank you for your support.
Hi there. Are you finding it difficult to overcome the challenges of life? Have you asked yourself why certain unknown operations around your life cause you to fail, for you to hurt yourself and others? Do you know that we fight unknown spiritual and physical battles daily, and you may be fighting the wrong enemy without knowing it? Are you ready to reach the extraordinary and discover who your real enemy is? If your answer is yes, then you are on your path to victory. Know Your Enemy is a book written by Gloria Lee, a great communicator who offers the best effective solutions differentiate your enemy from a third voice. This book will show you how to take stock of your life and who is in charge of your life. It will help you draw from your greatest disappointments the wisdom and strength you need to channel your thoughts to be a better person. Know Your Enemy was written to help children of life-building skills and productive thinking, help mothers to train their children, and to give exceptional insight to adults on how to respond to situations in a healthy manner without having emotional judgments on themselves. If you desire to change and fulfill your life's focus and purpose, then you need to read the book Know Your Enemy that will educate and develop you. The book can be found at the website touchedbythelight.us. You can read a copy of the first chapter.
32 million adults in the United States cannot read. And for most of them, it's not that they lack the ability to learn how. They just have grown up in a system that has not allowed them to flourish. And what I want to talk about today is bringing that power back to our communities. It is 2020. We have the resources around us to gain this knowledge. And it comes down to supporting our brothers and sisters to get them back on track. We need to understand that there is power in new information. We cannot hang on to the same things that have been told to us for the last 10 to 15 years. It is a new day. We have new technology at our fingertips that can help our families and our communities. But we need to be able to understand it, to process it, and to take action on it. For those of you that can read, I challenge you in 2020 to dedicate time to help our communities become better. Reach out, volunteer, and donate to help bring education back to our homes. For those of you that cannot read, all that I ask is for you to reach out for help. There are people around you that are willing to help you reach success. This cannot be about pride or being self-conscious. This has to be about you. We want to help you learn how to read so that you can make the decisions you need in this life. It is 2020. No more excuses on either side. If you can, you need to help. If you can't, you need to ask. We are all here for each other. I am talking about our cities, our communities, and our families. Bring the power of education back home.
Need a publisher? Contact Touched by the Light Publishing Services today. We can help. We can help you write, publish, or promote your book. Get the best book publishing services available. Call 734-786-3233. Leave your contact information and we will get back to you. Or email your contact information to yithril11@netzero.net. Get the best proofreading, editing services, book cover and website development, book trailers, and more. Email us at yithril11@netzero.net to get started. We are self-publishing made easy. We empower independent authors. We can help you write, publish, or promote your book. Once you contact us, the hard part is over. Self-publish your work quickly, easily, and affordably today. Call 734-786-3233. Leave contact information or email contact information to yithril11@netzero.net. That's all there is to it. Now you can leave the rest to us. Ready to show the world what you've been working on? Call 734-786-3233 today and let's get started. There is power in you. Learn how women overcame poverty, handicaps, and toxic relationships to win at life by listening to the Women of Courage show on WHPR 88.1 FM every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. We can be reached at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Join the Women of Courage show and celebrate the achievements of women, all during the year every Friday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 8 a.m. here on WHPR TV 33, Channel 88.1 FM, and learn how you too can become a woman of courage. It is important that you know the greatness you can achieve. Join the Women of Courage show and celebrate the achievements of women, all during the year every Friday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 8 a.m. here on WHPR TV 33, Channel 88.1 FM, and learn how you too can become a woman of courage. It is important that you know the greatness you can achieve.
Join us at the Women of Courage show every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. for information that will change your life. You can also visit us at our website, touchedbythelight.us.